There's a special episode of CBS's 48 Hours coming up this weekend. It's highlighting a case many of us are familiar with.
Melissa Andrews caught up with one of the investigators on the special earlier this afternoon.
WTOL 11 is set to bring you another look at a case that's captivated our area for years. You may have seen our special, Hidden in Plain Sight, Dee Warner's story. And now 48 Hours on CBS will highlight the case tomorrow at 10 p.m. right here on WTOL 11. Erin Moriarty is covering the case and is here with the preview. Erin, thanks for being here with us.
Thank you, Melissa. This is a really interesting case, and I hope people really follow it.
What interested you and made it such a great story to highlight on 48 Hours?
I think this case illustrates how difficult it is for a family when a member of that family disappears, and they become of the belief that someone close to her, in this case Dee's husband, was involved. But as you know, there was no physical evidence of a crime. There was no physical evidence of a crime scene. And so one of the most difficult things, I think, for a family is, number one, is working through all of their emotions. First, they wonder if she took her life. Then they're wondering if, in fact, she took off the way Dale thought she did initially, or said he thought she did initially. And then they have to reach that conclusion that maybe she's dead. So that's really difficult. But they also have to keep the investigators invested in this case. And so this case really illustrates all the problems with a missing person, no body case.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And I know the family was so frustrated not being able to get those answers. And one of the people that may have been able to give those answers, and he's not been convicted, is her husband, Dale Warner. He never spoke to us about the case. Were you able to get him to talk to you, Erin?
No, as you noticed, Dale was very open with police. He was always willing to speak with them when they would come. There is a lot of body cam footage of where he's talking to officers that came to his house. He has always very strongly denied that he was involved. But no, he has not spoken publicly, as far as I know, to any member of the press, and he did not talk with us. We did speak off camera to his attorney, who says that he strongly denies these charges and that he will fight these vigorously when he goes on trial.
Yeah, but as you know, it was really a lot of what Dale did that was unspoken, some of his behaviors that his family described, that Dee's family described to us, that kind of raised red flags.
Well, and as you know, Melissa, always the spouse is really one of the first suspects. So, of course, they thought that. But as you also know from the preliminary hearing, there was evidence presented that indicated that things may have been difficult between Dee and Dale. Dee had a very strong personality. Her brother told us that for a long time he thought she would cause some of the problems, but at what he learned after she disappeared, he began to see that, in fact, he believed that that she might have even been abused in the relationship. There was some evidence at the prelim that her masseuse said that she had injuries, but you have to remember she did work in a trucking business. She worked on a farm. And in fact, in cross-examination, that same masseuse said, well, no, I didn't tell anybody. I didn't tell police. So it did seem like there were difficulties in that marriage. A lot of marriages have difficulties, but you could see that more after she disappeared.
Mm-hmm. One of the things that I think was just so explosive, of course, is where Dee's body was found in a tank. Right there within the properties. We called our special Hidden in Plain Sight, and you're calling yours the no body case of Dee Warner. I take that to mean that you found it also significant that Dee was there pretty much in plain sight the entire time.
You know, I did not expect that development at all. You kind of hope when you start on a case like this. When I started on it, it was a no body case, and we were gonna, as we covered the prelim. But I just want to tell you why it was really shocking to me was just last summer, I was standing out in the field with Greg, Dee's brother, and we are talking about all the places he looked and all the possibilities of where she may be, and the thought probably that she was buried somewhere. I think he believed that somewhere, and how much. And then 3 weeks later, to find out that just 100 yards behind me was where she was. That just gave me chills. The idea that all along when I was standing there, she was behind in that shed, in that tank. I do have to really give a shout out to investigators, because when you read the search warrant, you realize they really had to put 2 and 2 together to come up with that. And so I do believe that really good investigation was done in this case, and that investigators did not give up on trying to find Dee and what happened to her.
Erin Moriarty, we appreciate your eyes on this case and your expertise and your investigative journalism on this case that's been so important to our area. We appreciate it. And you can watch 48 Hours, their special, The No Body Case of Dee Warner, Saturday night at 10 right here on WTOL 11.
Wow. Whew, like she said,
Erin
that
knows
gave
the case very
gave
well.
her
She's done a
chills.
lot of great job investigating. I'm looking forward to seeing that.
Yeah, absolutely. I think this is, as Melissa said, a case that has captivated our area for years at this point, and people just looking and desperately wanting that resolution for the family.
Well, I interviewed Greg maybe about a year ago, and he said it's bad enough to lose your sister, but having no closure yet. This is well before they found the body. Having no closure. Every morning I wake up, it's the first thing I think of. It dominates my thoughts all day long. In the last few years, it's dominated the thoughts until they had that closure. So we're glad that finally we have, they found the remains and move on from there with the legal proceedings.
Yeah, so of course, if you can catch up on this case before the special tomorrow night, right now, on WTOL 11 Plus, we have our full Dee Warner Hidden in Plain Sight special, along with hours of interview our team did with the family. Again, this is all on our WTOL 11 Plus. Right now, it is a free download on your smart TV.